There have been several instances in the Naruto story where something was set up and never paid off in the future. Let's talk about them and why they were never paid off and if that was a good decision or not. Well, of course, setting up something that's never going to be paid off is bad, but sometimes not going through with it works to avoid some other problem in the narrative. Let's start things off with everyone's favorite kunoichi, Sakura. Remember when everyone said that Sakura was amazing at genjutsu, that she has so much potential for genjutsu?
Oh my god, this is so fucking true. Yes. She does the whole arc with Tsunade. She becomes really powerful. And then she's useless, of course. It never paid off. It literally never paid off. She stayed useless. Doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, she pops off in the Sasori fight, like the puppet guy, and that's it. All that for what, man? She's just a side character.
It was brilliant. I mean, Kakashi said that in the training arc.
I guess, yeah, okay, before the Tsunade training arc, she was just useless weight, like you guys are saying. And after, she's a little bit less useless, I guess. But, like, by the way, some people were really mad because of the Orihime slander in the Bleach video. And I just want to say, I don't hate Orihime. Orihime is still more useful than Sakura. Orihime's ability is really powerful, okay?
Arc with the bells. Sasuke said that several times about Sakura, and that had to do with Sakura's chakra control. She was the best at controlling her chakra among Team 7, and therefore she had a lot of potential in becoming very good at genjutsu. This was very clearly a setup for Sakura being the genjutsu user in the team. It was clear that Team...
Like, if I want to relate that to the Shoe on Head video, you know when they were talking about how they want to make men cheerleaders? That's exactly what they want men to be. They want them to be the Sakura. Just like, never have any cool moments, except maybe one, just so they're satisfied. And then just be on the sideline cheering for the main characters. Sasuke and Naruto going at it. Oh, there's a lot of people that love Sakura. Like, they actually like that character. She's popular. She's very popular. I don't hate her. I wish she had more. Like, all of these characters, they could be more complex, I guess. They could have more screen time. Even though it wasn't my favorite screen time. Like, obviously, you'd rather watch, Kakashi pop off and stuff. Or Naruto and Sasuke. But that's also because it felt like she was more abandoned in terms of character development than others.
Team 7 was foreshadowed and built up to be split in between the three major ninja arts. Sakura for genjutsu, Sasuke for ninjutsu, and Naruto for taijutsu. However, this never happens. I mean, Sakura never learns a single genjutsu.
Yeah, no, she's not a bad character. She just got screwed in the power scaling. Yeah. That fight with the old granny, she popped off there. She clutched it. She
just breaks out of a couple and yeah,
but
that's pretty much what she does.
When it gets to the end game, she's completely outmatched.
She becomes the healer of the team, which also requires really great chakra control. So it's not as though that
need a
ability
healer.
went to waste. But we can see that the genjutsu guy in the team is Sasuke because the Sharingan and whatnot. And I don't think that's a bad idea. Of course, Sasuke should be good at genjutsu because that's the entire Uchiha shtick. However, giving Sakura some type of genjutsu would have been good, especially because she was so heavily foreshadowed to be this genjutsu prodigy that not giving her anything up until the end of the story doesn't make much sense, especially because everyone always wanted Sakura to be stronger. And she should have been more powerful than what she ended up being because, yes, she is in the main team of the series. She should be more relevant in terms of her character and strength, and that just never happens.
Yes.
Continuing with Sakura and promises that were never paid off, well, we have Sakura's inner self. which was a very funny gimmick that Sakura had in part 1 of the series. Her inner self was always contradicting her thoughts or reinforcing them, usually for comedic relief. But in the Sakura versus Ino fight, which a lot of people hate, and I don't really get it because it's a fine fight, man. I mean, it's alright. In that fight...
Why do people hate the Sakura versus Ino fight? I feel like they had a rivalry. I think it made sense.
Sakura uses her inner self to essentially expel Ino from her consciousness.
It's the worst fight in the series? Damn, you guys really don't like it. I can't remember where I left off in Naruto years ago. I remember him fighting the guy that controls sand. Bro, you're at the beginning of the show, basically, then. If he's fighting Gaara, that's not like right up at the beginning, but you're like, that it's like the second foe, the second strong foe that they fight, and then there's just so much more after.
And that actually allows Sakura not to lose the fight. The fight ties in the end, but still, she would have lost if not for the inner self. And you could say, yeah, they came out of left field, and sure, it kinda did, but Naruto did motivate Sakura as well. So that also helped Sakura's inner self.
Yeah, that was cute.
Her out of Ino's jutsu. And that is never used again. Sakura never uses her inner self for anything else other than just comedic relief. And in Naruto Shippuden, she just stopped.
Or she could have been like another way, maybe, where they could have made her character more pertinent, is that she was always very sad or felt very guilty that she couldn't stop Naruto and Sasuke from fighting each other. And she was very upset when they fought each other. And that's why she sought to... That's why she seeked to become stronger after that one fight where Naruto and Sasuke, like, had intent to kill each other. And then, like, maybe she could have... Well, I guess after that, the plotline didn't allow it. But it would have been cool where she had, like... If she had that breakthrough moment at one point in the series, where she is, like, the glue that keeps them together. But they needed... The thing is, they needed Sasuke and Naruto to be against each other. So there's, like, the plot twist at the end where Sasuke helps them fight against the final boss.
Using it, the inner self kind of vanishes from the story entirely. Which is sad, because honestly, that was one of my favorite aspects about Sakura's character. Now let's move on to a fight that was teased to no end, but we never got it. Sasuke versus Neji in the Chunin exams. Neji and Sasuke were both said to be the prodigies of their era. They were both from very prestigious clans and talented ninjas. And
Sasuke
they were
would win.
always compared, essentially. Whenever someone talked about Neji, they talked about Sasuke and vice versa during the Chunin exams. So every...
Sakura gave birth to an Uchiha who needs glasses. Oof. Is it the first in history?
Everyone thought, yeah, these two guys are probably gonna fight. Never happened though, which is kind of strange. You would figure a fight between Sasuke and Neji would be very hype and that people would love watching it, but I understand why this fight was never included. The story simply didn't have that much space. It could have been included in the Forest of Death, but putting the fight there would be a stomp for Neji, and that's probably not what Kishimoto wanted. He would probably want something more balanced, so having Sasuke fight Neji...
They don't fight in the Chunin exam arc? Thought they did.
In the final round of the Chunin exams would be more ideal. However, Neji's character arc in the Chunin exams could not be fulfilled without fighting Naruto, and also Sasuke couldn't lose because he had to fight Gaara.
Yeah.
Therefore, the Sasuke versus Neji fight simply couldn't happen in the appropriate moment for Kishimoto. After the Chunin exam, Sasuke just becomes way more powerful than Neji, and the fights would also be a stomp, but now for Sasuke's side. So unfortunately, even though it would have been very nice to see them fight in a battle to the death, not to the death, but in a very hard battle, we don't see it because of the story and because of the pacing, and also because things just wouldn't fit so well if they had that fight. Now let's talk about a character...
The Neji Naruto fight was really good. So was the Sasuke Gaara one.
That was built up as being important and kind of forgotten, and that's Anko. Now, I'm not gonna be here talking about every single character that was forgot in Naruto Shippuden, but Anko is a more interesting case for me because she was Orochimaru's pupil. And we know that the pupils of the Sanins have a great significance in the story, especially Minato and Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura. Granted, Chizune is not that important, but still, Anko had a curse mark. She had
Anko got chunk in Shippuden? I don't remember that.
Interesting arc during the Forest of Death. She even wanted to take Orochimaru with her so that she could get rid of him forever because she hated him so much for what he did. And that was so very interesting. Anko was a compelling character, and after this arc, she literally disappears from the story, appearing once every 100 chapters and never doing anything relevant whatsoever. Seems a bit wasteful if you wanna ask me. I get the feeling Kishimoto had something planned for Anko and Orochimaru, but never really found the right way of executing it or even where to put it in the story, so he just chose to.
Yeah, Orochimaru's development was just like, he went from super villain to like pathetic, and then, hey, actually I'm gonna help you guys for like no really good reasons. I just feel like it. I didn't get that.
Kind of ignore Anko forever. I mean, she's not even in the war arc. She's just laying there in Kabuto's hideout. Her only purpose for existing there is just to bring Orochimaru back. It's kind of sad. Another character that was built up and never paid off was Kurenai. Now, granted, Kurenai has one fight, if you could even call.
Doesn't she? Oh no, it's the other one that's in love with her. It's the guy that's in love with her that dies. Oh, that was sad. The guy with the little stick in his mouth. That was Shikamaru sensei. Yeah, that was sad.
Call that a fight in the entire series. She uses genjutsu against Itachi, and every single person in the Naruto fandom makes fun of her because of that. But guys, she's a genjutsu specialist. What did you want her to do? Like throw a rock at Itachi or something? No, she had to use her most powerful ability. It just so happens that she didn't really fight the right opponent for her.
That sucks. That sucks. When you're fighting type Pokemon and you attack a psychic one, it's like, yikes. Your attacks are not effective, bro.
But the thing is, she was one of the prominent jonins in the Leaf Village. She was the sensei of one of the main teams. So you would expect she would have gotten something. I mean, Asuma got an arc surrounding him and his death. Kakashi is Kakashi. I don't have to explain that one. And Guy fought Jubidara. Kurenai got pregnant. And that's her character in Naruto Shippuden. She doesn't do anything other than having a baby, which is great. Don't get me wrong, that could have happened, and I'd be grateful for, you know, having more kids in the Naruto verse and an interesting story about the new generation, but she doesn't get anything to do. She is just there. Why doesn't she go to the war? I mean, you would figure Kurenai would want to protect her child, so she would want to fight the war because, yeah, man, it's important. That's the lesson Asuma was teaching. Protect the king. The king is the next generation. And Kurenai just sits there and does nothing, which is really
She's
sad. I mean,
her
she was a
plants.
genjutsu specialist, something we literally never see again. The only time we get a glimpse of how a genjutsu specialist may fight is in that fight against Itachi, which is a really bad example. And let's move on to Naruto Shippuden.
No.
With the Akatsuki rings.
No. Okay, thank God. I thought they were gonna talk about that fight, and I'm gonna have I was gonna get PTSD. Alright.
I don't know if you recollect,
I got scared.
but in the beginning of Naruto Shippuden, when the Akatsuki was being introduced a little bit more and we were seeing more characters,
I love
the
Deidara.
rings that the characters wore were a big deal. Every Akatsuki member had a different ring with a different color that had a different meaning, and every single one of those rings was linked to one of the fingers of the Gero Mazo. There was a significance to that Kishimoto just never really explored. He just said in the end, oh yeah, the rings are cool because the Akatsukis are cool, and that's pretty much it. But that was not...
Shouldn't anime do that a lot? I noticed that about Jujutsu Kaisen too. They're like, introduce this new concept one game, and then because I don't want to explain it to you, they just put like a very brief flashback of somebody explaining it to them, and we're supposed to just, I'm just like, okay. Some things could be more fleshed out from time to time, but you know what? I enjoy it nonetheless.
Not the case whatsoever in the beginning of Naruto Shippuden. When Deidara loses his arms, he is looking for his ring specifically. He is more concerned with his Akatsuki ring than with his arm. And when Toby finds it, Deidara strangles him so that he can give the ring back to him and all that. I mean, it's supposed to be a funny scene, but the importance of the rings is very much stated there. The characters wouldn't be so fixated on the rings if they weren't important. Toby even says, oh, now that Deidara is dead, I can get his ring and then I can be an Akatsuki member, implying that the rings are unique for some reason and not just a piece of jewelry. If he needs to get Deidara's ring to get into the Akatsuki...
I remember that line. Yeah, I also thought the rings were important because you needed it to be in the Akatsuki, and if you weren't, if you didn't have it, you'd get kicked out or something. I don't know.
That means the ring carries some type of power or symbolism, I don't know, something, but Kishimoto never develops this concept any further. After the first arc, the Kazekage rescue arc in Naruto Shippuden, these rings are just forgotten and now they're just an accessory that the Akatsuki members have. Their importance is never brought up again, and I think it's kind of a shame because there was probably something cool Kishimoto was cooking up with those. Though he may have thought that in the end of the day, the concept of the rings wasn't that important and it wouldn't be that impactful for the entire narrative, so he just dropped it and said, yeah, the rings are just the symbol that you were an Akatsuki member, and that's pretty much it.
I mean, if one ring is for each finger, maybe he wanted to add more Akatsuki members and he was like, I'm gonna be limited if I introduce this. Or sometimes when you're telling a story, you gotta get rid of like more unimportant parts, so it might not have been a bad editing choice.
Now let's talk about a rivalry that was never paid off, really. Neji versus Rock Lee. They were set up to be these rivals ever since the Chunin exams. I mean, Rock Lee's objective was to defeat Neji Hyuga to show him that hard work beats natural talent. Now, a lot of people say that this is the core theme of the Naruto series, and it is not. It is just one of the themes specially connected to Rock Lee, but hard work beating natural talent is by no means the entire theme of the series. However, the rivalry between the characters was definitely set up, and a fight between them was set up as well. I mean, it didn't have to be a fight between enemies, but seeing the two characters fighting to see who's more powerful would be very satisfying. And yet, they never did. I mean, let's be real, Neji and Rock Lee got a very poor treatment in Naruto Shippuden. Lee didn't do anything in the entire story, and Neji didn't do anything and then died to a stick. Team Guy wasn't very well treated, except for Guy. Guy, he got a pretty good treatment.
Yo, Guy popped off. Yeah, that's true. I wish I saw Rock Lee in there. And I can't get over Neji's death so unnecessary. They needed us to be sad. They were like, they had to kill off a character that we were attached to, but he should have had a moment before. Yeah, and Lee got overshadowed by his master. I mean, Lee could have had like a pop-off moments with the gates too. I mean, Naruto and Sasuke surpassed their master, I think. Yeah, in terms of power level, they're certainly more powerful than Kakashi. I mean, I think Lee, I can't really recall properly, but he helps Naruto against a fight against the guy that has a bunch of spikes coming out of his body. That's from Orochimaru's crew. I don't remember if he carried the fight or if he was just there. Kimimaru, yeah. I like Kimimaru's story.
But the rest, they were just thrown away. Now let's talk about another character that just vanished from the story. And that's gonna be Sai.
What the
yeah. Oh my god. Sai was a big critique I had in the show too. What the fuck? No, seriously, they were like, oh, we need a new Sasuke. We need to introduce a new character to the manga. They put him in, they build up all of these things, They set up this whole, friendship. At first it was hard, but then they become friends and they're close. And then he just disappears. They're like, finally, we don't have time for that character, so we're just gonna roll it back. It's like, why even bring him in the first place then?
He was introduced
Waste
in the
of time.
Tenchi Bridge arc as a guy from the root, Ambu, a spy for Danzo that's looking over Naruto and seeing what's happening. I don't really like Sai that much, not having a personality and having to develop, feelings and learning to express emotion is a type of arc I'm not a...
He was heavy, but his technique was cool. His ability is cool. He's kind of like Way from League of Legends.
But it's serviceable. Sai serves as a mystery for the Tenchi Bridge arc. We're always second guessing his true intentions. And also the book, he's drawing all those drawings and not having the book completed in the end with his brother, and then him completing it and shaking his brother's hand in the book. It's something interesting. It essentially finishes the character's arc up well in that particular arc, but then Sai disappears from the story. He has no relevance whatsoever after the Tenchi Bridge arc. And you would expect he would, because he is one of the Team 7 members. Now, not that I'm really pissed off at that, because I don't really like Sai that much, so it's fine that he is not in the narrative, but it's so weird that even in the arc where Danzo is most prominent in the 5 Kage,
that the red-haired mommy here, she was cool. She was based.
Summit arc, Sai just has this minute role that doesn't amount to anything, and you would expect that, okay, his boss is in the battlefield and doing stuff. Sai should probably be there. Like, if you want to do something useful with a character, just put Sai in the bodyguard position instead of those two randos, Fu and Torune. Just have Sai be one of them. Now, yeah, I mean, Obito kills them in that arc, but you can easily write around that. I mean, give him something to do. I don't know, man. Maybe have him conflicted over Danzo's real intentions or something like that. But nothing happens, and then Danzo dies, and Sai doesn't do anything about it. I mean, he's not pissed, and I get it, that's his personality, but still, you could give some type of conflict to the character.
Literally
especially
anything.
When the man who...
It could have been so many things. It could have been so many things. He doesn't even... I don't think we even see him in the, like big war. He doesn't get his own fight, Usually all the side characters get their own fights, and you build up to, like, the two OP guys from both sides fighting each other. He didn't get that. There was never a moment where he met Sasuke. Like, Sasuke is like the old him in Team 7. Never get that. He doesn't give them a pep talk or power them up or hype them for battle. No, nothing. He's not even there. It's like he never happened.
Man who raised...
Oh, he does meet Sasuke? Well, I don't remember. It was probably very lackluster then.
He's him as a shinobi till dies. I mean, maybe he loses purpose, maybe he finds a new purpose, but he's just there, and then he pretty much does nothing in the war as well. Another plot thread that was kind of dropped was Naruto's promise of bringing peace to the Rain Village. When Naruto confronts...
It lasted 1 second? He does see him when Naruto finds Sasuke in the second arc? Oh... So you're my replacement, okay.
Nagato after defeating the Paths of Pain, and after them having that very lengthy conversation about what's the cycle of hatred and who's gonna stop it and all that, Naruto said
they killed Jiraiya. We can never forgive them.
That he will bring peace to the Rain Village when he becomes the Hokage, and we just never see that happening. And as far as I remember, Naruto says many times that he never goes back on his word, so apparently Naruto was lying. No, but really, we never see the Rain Village again, unfortunately. I mean, we see it for a couple of chapters when Conan fights Tobi/Obito/Madara there, but we just see it in the distance, to be honest. We don't see how the villagers are doing. We don't see the village itself. We just kind of see it as a backdrop. And the Rain Village is such a cool place. Now maybe doing something new in the Rain...
I really wish she was gonna win that fight, but you knew she was never gonna win it, but I really wish she was. I remember feeling that way, like, oh, maybe this is it. Nah.
Village, making
Nah.
Naruto do those improvements would be bad for the pacing of the story, but just do something, say, yes, I'm sending aid to the
And their story was really sad. You really empathize with them, even though they were like the bad guys.
Rain Village.
then it
I
became
am
good, I
doing
guess.
something good for the Rain Village because I promised Nagato that, and now I am protecting them. Whatever, you can do something quick. It's just nice to know that the main character is fulfilling his very powerful
Yeah.
promises that were
Fulfilling his Sabaton goals, yeah.
hard to accomplish, but that he is actually doing them. The next setup that was never paid off relates to Madara Uchiha. Remember in the
Madara.
arc when Madara was laying around, was just kind of watching Naruto and Sasuke fight Obito and all that, and every time something came up, he said, I still have my trump card. He threw that around all the time. Madara's trump card. What was Madara's trump card? Like, we never saw the trump card. Now, one could say Madara's trump card was using Black Zetsu to make Obito use the Rinne Tensei on Madara to revive Madara, and that's something Madara actually does, but fails because Obito manages to overpower Black Zetsu and he becomes the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails instead. But you would expect that whenever Madara used his trump
So, wait, so wasn't that the trump card? I'm confused now.
card, he would say, yes, now I'm using my trump card, and not just leave the audience guessing. And honestly, Black Zetsu being the trump card, I don't like that one bit, if that was Kishimoto's intention. Now, maybe you could say Limbo was Madara's trump card, but he couldn't use Limbo when he was in his Edo Tensei state, and he was talking about the trump card when he was in the Edo Tensei.
True, they would say something if they're using the trump card. They'd say something like, okay, now I'm forced to use it, or now I gotta do that. No. He would probably have said it. They always say it in the anime. It's a rule.
Tensei state, so clearly the trump card was either something really bad like the Black Zetsu thing, or we just didn't see it. Which is kind of what the video is about. We never saw Madara's trump card, unfortunately. The first time I read those chapters in 2013, I think that's when they were coming out, I thought his trump card would be his MS abilities that we also never see in the story. But no, we just don't find out what the trump card was. And another setup that was never paid off was Tenten getting the tools from the Sage of Six Paths in the end of the war arc. I mean, sure, Tenten used a couple of the tools to one-shot Kakuzu and all that, but remember when Madara became the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails and he spat two of those tools that Obito used to summon the Ten Tails in the first place? Those tools landed on Guy and Neji. It was a funny scene. And then when Guy and Neji go to the battlefield to fight Jubidara, they say, oh, Tenten stayed behind because she found the tools of the Sage of Six Paths and she's trying to figure something out with them. Every single person that was reading that saw this panel and they thought, boy, Tenten's gonna seal Madara. This was the meme for years. People were saying that Tenten was gonna solo Madara, that she was gonna win the fight, and Tenten was gonna save the day, like this completely useless character that never won a fight except for the fight against her doppelganger was going to seal the most powerful character.
No, wait, that would have been a letdown though. Or maybe if she just comes in at the end and puts the tool down and seal them, sure, but like, ain't no way. She never won a fight and she comes in and seals the most broken character the series has seen so far? Nah. Yeah, she has 0 screen time.
Character we had ever seen by
we literally like Neji more than her. Why would it be her?
long shot, because she is a master of weapons, and by coincidence, the most powerful weapons in the existence of mankind landed on her lap. And so everyone was excited to see when's Stenton showing up, when's Stenton gonna seal Madara, and she never came, unfortunately. She was just put under the Infinite Tsukiyomi just like everyone else in the Alliance. and that was it. I mean, to be honest, I prefer Tenten stealing Madara than the Zetsu thing and Kaguya and all that. It would have been much more interesting, at least. So Tenten never uses those two tools. She never steals Madara, she never does anything with them. We only see the tools in the last chapter when Tenten is running her weapons shop and nobody is really buying anything and the weapons are there, which is really strange, to be honest. Just having those legendary powerful weapons laying around as a display in your shop is really strange. I mean, would a gun shop have nukes on their display? Sure, they were not for sale, but still, it's just weird. But anyway, tell me in the comments down below if I missed any setups that were never paid off in the Naruto series. Watch
But your step is still too shallow.
this other video right here for more entertaining Naruto content. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and like this video to help me out with the YouTube algorithm.
I like Tenten more than Neji. Damn, you guys don't like Neji. He becomes good, guys. Yeah, he's an annoying cuck at first, but he becomes nicer.